sky is gray, but the rain won't fall. It's just mist on my face. I look around for answers, but I can't find a trace. Where you been, where you gone? How did we go so wrong? I lie awake all night in bed, trying to retrace my steps. And did I not care enough? Did I try too much? Was it something I did? Could you just tell me? 'Cause I can't sleep at night. Wake up and curse your name, but I don't want you back. I just wish you.
Welcome everybody to Picks and Bones. I'm Eric. Tonight, seriously, folks, I've been trying to get this guy on my show like since I first started even thinking about doing this. We've got Corey Hunt. Corey, how are you doing, my friend?
No, I'm great, man. Thanks for having me.
No, man, I've been looking forward to this one. You were seriously one of my favorite songwriters and singers out there, and I will fight anybody that says that you don't get enough credit, because you don't get enough credit anywhere. Well, except maybe Texas. Texas appreciates you.
Well, we've just been lucky to be able to go out there. We had a couple lucky breaks, and I think there's just a larger awareness for the music we've been putting out there than we're all out here. You know, I think there's just larger platforms.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the tides are changing. Though. I mean, just like we're doing right now, this is a platform that we don't have a lot of where we live. So, you know, even just doing a show like this, like, man, it's a huge step forward. You know,
it really is. And you know, another thing that I've noticed is, you know, anybody that's Southern now is claiming red dirt. I mean, you were red dirt before people were actually saying, hey, you know, this is a specific type of music outside of Texas. Because, I mean, I know that Texas has been using it for ages. But you were red dirt before red dirt was even anybody knew what red dirt was around here.
Yeah, and I tell you, I have to attribute that to my dad. I remember for all growing up, I hung out with my dad and his friends a lot, and they listened to this music, and I liked it too. And then when I finally got my license, I had friends riding around with me, and I was playing stuff, and they're like, what in the world is this? I'm like, what do you mean? I didn't realize that nobody else knew what it was. And then I made the correlation when I got to college that all this music I was listening to was kind of coming out of Oklahoma and Texas. And I think that's just naturally, as I started playing music and building my sound, that's what I was listening to. So that's kind of how I ended up being what I am, I reckon.
Well, and thank goodness, because I mean, but you know, I've noticed, you know, Red Dirt, North Carolina is really, you know, promoting everybody. I see them promoting you a lot now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm glad that's happening now, because
yeah.
I'm really glad that people are starting to appreciate and take notice, because you know, you've got a line in one of your songs that says, you know, you may never hear, we're not the kind you're going to hear on the radio, but
yeah,
you know, I don't listen to the radio. I listen to everybody else that, you know, they're not out there getting these big record deals, and you know, they're just putting out music because they put out such great music, and I think you're one of those.
I appreciate that.
I know I sound like I'm fanboying so bad right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's nothing I haven't told you in person before. So, you know, I'm good with that. So who were some of your influences coming up? I know you said, you know, hanging out with your dad and listening and everything. You know, who were you listening to back then that kind of helped mold you to where you are today?
Yeah, so I guess my dad and his kind of group of friends, they were huge Robert O'Keefe fans. And, man, like I bet when I was in high school and even in middle school, everything he had put out to that point I had access to, and that's what I was listening to, you know. And then Chris Knight, he's not from Texas, he's from Kentucky, but he's another one that, man, I just like really into it. The songwriting was just something. I don't know. You listen to Chris Knight songs and they just hit with you. Like they're stories, you know. They're so much deeper and thought provoking than kind of the average music you hear. And so I think those were my large influences. But at the time I was listening to them, I didn't play music at all. I was just like a fan, you know. I just really loved music. I really loved things that I found out that nobody else even knew about, and kind of, you know, my age group growing up where I'm at. And I tell you, the turning point, it was the first weekend in college as a freshman, and 2 weekends in a row, I saw Reckless Kelly, and then I saw Corey Smith. And that Sunday after Corey Smith and seeing Reckless Kelly the week before, I went and bought a guitar. I was like, I want to write songs, you know?
Yeah. I love Reckless.
Oh, me too, man.
I mean, those guys are something else. And,
yeah.
And, you know, Chris Knight is finally starting to get the recognition that he deserves. Because, you know, for a long time, I mean, it was underground. You know, you really had to be into that kind of music or rode in the rodeo, because, you know, he did that whole music circuit, or, you know, had a friend that randomly pops that in and says, hey, you ever heard this guy?
Yeah. And I think Chris Knight's the person too. When you're a songwriter and you're starting to study and, you know, look around like, who do you want to be like? I think a lot of the songwriters, like, they know who Chris Knight is. But there'll be people that listen to those guys and have no idea who he is. He's kind of like you said, he's always been like an underground guy. It's almost like he wrote songs for the music lover, and there's a lot of, you know, music lovers that they end up writing music, and so they kind of followed in the footsteps. So I feel 100% certain a lot of the music people really like, it was inspired, or, you know, somewhere down the road, somebody, you know, pulled from the Chris Knight stuff that was inspired by Russ, so, you know, maybe it became more popular.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. With your, you know, you're a pretty great storyteller and everything. What is your process when you're writing songs?
That's a good question. I've been asked that before. I think it's weird. I always, you know, I try to explain it, and I say that I'm not really good at sitting down saying, I'm going to write a song today. It's kind of like I got this just kind of mood or vibe that, I don't know, it just randomly kind of comes on, and even in my brain it clicks. If I can sit down with a guitar, I think I could write a song right now. And, most of my songs are true stories. They're based on me, or based off of, you know, a story of a friend, or, you know, I read a lot of articles and stuff, and I've written a few songs just based off things I read, you know. And I'm not really good, I think, at pulling things out of thin air. I kind of try to be observant of my surroundings and just soak in everything I can, and then, you know, use that to convey a message.
Well, and you know, my all-time favorite is Explain, which, you know, I think that's kind of one of everybody's favorites. But, you know, even going back in that, like, you know, you got Stuck in Arkansas. Man, if that song doesn't get you going, I don't know what will. And I know, you know, one of your friends that you know, he used to kind of work for you and is playing with you. I interviewed him the other night, Todd Allman. And, you know, we were talking about, you know, you've got people that are recording your stuff now.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest thing ever. Because I think it's really, I guess, what you say, flattering, because it's like you got a fellow artist that likes one of your songs enough that he would like to record it. And I know there's some people that don't like people that record their stuff, but to me, it's like the greatest compliment you can get is a fellow artist saying, man, I'd like to record that, and then doing it. You know what I mean? It's so cool. Like, it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, because, I mean, what is it? Come Out Tonight's on Piedmont Boys' new one, right?
Yeah.
And
Greg cut that.
And didn't what's the one that Mikael Buck just recorded or is recording?
NKMU, Mikhail recorded, and my buddy Tyler Howard recorded that.
Yeah.
And, which I can't take full credit for that song. Me and Greg Payne and Todd Allman and a fellow by the name of Watt Durrett actually wrote that. And,
Okay.
but that's been way cool. Like that song, I feel like it's kind of taken a life of its own, you know?
Yeah.
Which is super neat.
Yeah, that's never a bad thing.
Won't you come on out tonight? Everybody's swinging by. We got a whole truckload of wood to burn and a whole night of killing time. Drinks that flow like a river, so you're guaranteed a smile. Everybody says they miss you. We haven't seen you in a while. So won't you come on out tonight?
One thing I'm going to ask you though, and I want your honest opinion. What is music to you?
What is what?
What is music to you?
What is music to me?
Mm-hmm.
I would say music to me is a, I started playing music as kind of a way to, I don't know, get things off my chest.
Okay.
I think we all experience things, positive, negative, and for me, that's my outlet. So if I'm having a bad day, the one thing that makes me feel better is it's almost like you pull those bad feelings out of your system and put them on paper. And, it's like, it's relieving. It helps me get over things when I'm having a hard time, and even the good things. It's like marking the memory of something that happened. Or, I don't know. I feel like music is life. I think every person on earth, goes to music to either give them a feeling or help them get away from a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I'm sad, I like to listen to sad music for some reason. Even though it's sad music, it makes me feel less sad. It's like it actually bears the weight for you, so you don't have to.
And see, I go to that. I go to that when I'm happy. I'm one of those dark guys that I like. If I'm happy, I want to listen to something that feels like it's going to tear your heart out.
Absolutely, I'm the same way.
Because and you've listened to the show before. We've had that. I've had that conversation with just about everybody that music is that universal binder, because, that's the one thing that everybody can agree on is you're going to love music. You may not like the specific genre of music, but the fact that you're supporting music at all, hey, that's great. Go for it.
I don't think you could ask anybody in the world, hey, what do you like to listen to? And they would reply, I don't listen to anything. Everybody listens to something.
I mean, I've heard, people will say, oh, I don't listen to the radio. Okay, yeah, there's so many people that don't anymore because, that's, how do I say this without coming off as an ass, but all you're getting is the regurgitated cookie cutter stuff if you're listening to just the radio.
Yeah.
And you're missing out. Go ahead.
I was just saying, fortunately, we live in a time though where, man, you can ride down the road and put your phone on Spotify or Pandora, anything is at your fingertips these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can, I know the way Spotify does it. They set up, if you get a Corey Hunt radio, or even like Justin Clyde Williams radio, you're going to get exposed to what other people that listen to him or to you. You're going to find out they change that based on what those listeners on average are listening to. So it's constantly evolving and changing and broadening horizons and all that good stuff. Because, there's a lot of bands that, if you're not really into it, you're missing out completely. Like, brass tacks, for instance, if you're not in the know, like with those guys, or, you haven't been exposed to them, you wouldn't hear them outside of that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And I know you know Eli.
Yeah.
So I know you've got your, big circle of friends and everything that, you guys are the part of that whole the young blood of North Carolina putting out music. What are some of your favorite songs and even venues that you're getting to play?
If we're talking about venues in North Carolina, let's see. There's a place in Greenville called the Buccaneer Music Hall. It's a club, but I really enjoy playing there. It's down at East Carolina University. It's a fun little place to play. And I know in Greenville there's a pump house, and man, Danny, I like Danny and play at the pump house. We haven't been there in a little while, but it's always fun. And I feel like there's a lot of places, because I think we travel around and we play these places, and once you play them 3 or 4 times, you kind of get a bond with the people that work there, or the people that frequent them. So it's almost like family. It's like, well, I got to go this weekend to see my family that lives, out east or out west. You know what I mean? It's almost like you got to make it a point to stop there, not just to play, to see your people. You know what I mean?
You got to go visit your cousins.
Yeah. But as far as songs and people go, man, there's so many good people around right now. Of course, I always say Tyler Hatley and Todd Allman. They're probably my 2 closest amigos when it comes to playing music. We play together a whole lot. But then, people like you mentioned, like, man, Justin Clyde, like, he is an unreal musician and an artist. He can sing, he can write, he can play strings off a guitar like nobody else, And then you've got like Dirty Bass Soul, and they're one of the most exciting bands you can see live.
Oh, absolutely.
They're so exciting.
Absolutely.
Man, it's just if you can watch that and not just feel the energy and not feel the energy, then I don't understand who you are.
You don't have a soul.
You're not human.
My wife has said that because she loves Dirty Grass and everything. She loves Kevin because they're working on a little side thing. He's going to write a song based on some of her poetry. So she's looking forward to that. But she says that every time we go see him, she goes, their energy is just always so fun and vibrant, and you just feed off of that. And, there's a lot of bands that just can't even do that anymore, or they don't even try. But then not every band, that's not every band's thing. Not everybody, there's some artists that it's more like a listening room experience. You're there, not necessarily for the experience. You're there to experience the music. Yeah. And and you kind of fit in that category because your music is kind of an experience. Because you're not all flashy and everything else, but yours is more about the music and the words and the lyrics and delivery. And I think that's what makes a big difference. Because when you're up there on stage, people are actually hearing it.
Yeah.
And, that's a unique quality.
Well, that's the goal. That's cool that you said that. I appreciate that very much. You're working on it.
Yeah, it's, I love music. That's just my biggest thing. And I'm so proud of what you guys are doing. And because, we've known each other for a number of years now, and I've seen like you and Tyler's growth as musicians and performers. And it's just, it blows me away because, you think, okay, well, maybe they're hitting their peak. And then you're just like, you come out with something or you hear something and you're like, damn, they just reinvented it.
Man, that's way cool. But I think as long as you're an artist and you're always trying to outdo yourself and it's always about getting better, I think you can keep getting better. I think a lot, you know, as fans of music, of course, there's always that point where you feel like it's good, but I thought it would be better, like when something comes out, you know. And I think sometimes what happens is people just kind of get stalled because they've been doing it, you know what I mean? And it's not, it's just like everything in life. At some point, it kind of turns into more to a job and not a passion. And I think that's what happens, you know. I don't think it's any lack of, you know, they've lost their ability to create art. I think they just lost the passion to do it, you know.
Well, I think because people, they're throwing so much of their lifeblood and energy into this that, and they're doing the same thing every night, that I hate to say that they become complacent.
Yeah.
Because it's not really becoming complacent, but it's like you said, you know, you feel that they're so close that you can kind of tell that something's off. That, you know, that heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears angst that, you know, you've seen before, you can tell that you know, that spark's kind of fizzling, and you're just like, okay, as a fan, you're like, okay, what can I do to help you reignite?
Right.
And, you know, there's not enough people that pay attention closely enough to that to know when that kind of, you know, because you guys, I mean, I know you appreciate your fans, and you've got some loyal fans. And I think that's hell, I don't even know where I was going with that one.
No, it's all good. I think having when you have people that come see you, and it starts to turn into more than like a we like your music relationship. You've got to keep going, because there's almost that disappointing your family, you know.
Yeah.
And that's not why I do it. I'm not there yet, but I do think, man, it's like whenever I get down about something, it's like that's part of the reason I keep going, because you know you got people out there that depend on you to put something out, you know.
Well, and you know, it's when people stop coming and they quit saying that's when you got to start worrying.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know it's not necessarily an obligation, but it's like you said, it's like you kind of become like family, and you want to see your family succeed. And, you know, like you said, you don't want to disappoint them, but, you know, people also got to understand sometimes life will kick you square in the face.
That's true.
And sometimes that's when you're going to put out your best stuff, or, you know, you're going to find that niche or that perfect lyric that changes something in you. And now let me throw that one at you. Have you found when you know, I know you collaborate and everything, have you found that there's a moment where something just clicks and you're like, okay, yeah, this is why this one is going to, do you feel like a certain song is going to carry more of a message?
Yeah, I think sometimes that happens. You know, a lot of people like to complain. I know you mentioned it earlier, and I'll be honest, when I wrote that, I liked it, but I didn't think out of all the songs we had on the Power record that was going to be above and beyond the most popular song I've done to this point in my whole, you know, musical career. And I'll tell you the moment I realized it got put on some radio in Texas, and we showed up in Amarillo at a venue called the Golden Light, and shoot, we didn't think anybody would actually come see us. It was on a Thursday night, you know what I mean? And it was like the first time we're coming through. So we go to play, and we play. There's some people there, and you don't really know if they're there to see you or they're just there, you know what I mean? They're kind of watching, but, you know, so we play, and then we get to explain. All of a sudden, everybody perks up, and they sing every single word of that song, and that's when I realized, like, man, there might be some weight to this, you know? Like, this song, sitting on something. So,
well, and waiting on you does that too.
Gotcha.
But so I remember when I first saw you, it was just you and Eric, and there was such a raw, real, just energy just coming from the two of you guys. Now you've you got a full band now, don't you?
So it's kind of hard to explain. Me and Eric played together the whole time. I've never played with another drummer. In fact, I've played very few shows without him, even acoustic shows. But we've had guys kind of come and go ever since. Most recent, we had a full-piece band for the last little bit. One of our guys is going to go play for a kid that was on The Voice. And then we're kind of settling down to record. And so me and Eric are kind of a band. You know what I mean? And everybody else, not that they're not, not important, but you can't, we've not had anybody play with us constant, for more than maybe 7 or 8 months at a time. So kind of right now we'll take a break to make the record, and it'll just be like me and Eric. And then, when we come back up, we'll ask around, our buddies to play with us sometime to see if they want to play some shows, and if they do, great. If not, we'll go ask new people, or maybe we'll just play me and Eric. I enjoy playing me and Eric, to be honest.
That was something I brought up when I was talking with Todd the other night. I said, I know I've heard you with, more of a band, but then I always go back to my favorite time seeing you play. It's just you and Eric, because it's like, it's just real, because you can tell that there's that certain symbiotic connection that you get when you guys have been playing together for as long as you have. That
you cannot. When you're together for a decade with somebody, and you play music, and as I'm writing it, calling Eric, sending him things, getting, seeing what he thinks. It's kind of like we create it together, and you can't throw a band together in a week and, have that connection that you have with somebody that you just played your whole music career with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, let's shift gears and let's go into, let's jump into some bare bones.
All right.
Okay. What is your favorite guitar to play on stage?
My favorite, 314 CD.
Okay. What band are you really into right now?
Jason Isbell, man. He's my go-to all the time.
Right on. What's your all-time favorite book?
All-time favorite book. Ooh, that's a tough one. There's this book called Sing Spell. I used to say all the time. I've read it 3 or 4 times over the years. I read it my first time when I was a fresh. I think I'll stick with that.
Okay. Now, you're North Carolina, and you've been to Texas, spent time there. Your barbecue, pulled pork, brisket, what kind of sauce?
Man, that's tough. That is a tough question, man. You're going to get skilled. I almost can't answer that. But, to be honest, I do like the vinegar-based barbecue sauce.
Okay. I know Todd said, I'm from North Carolina. I'm probably going to get shot for this, but Texas brisket is a whole different thing. He said, you don't put anything on
it. Look, he might be right, but I'm loyal to my dying breath.
There you go. There you go. See, that's a man that knows his audience right there. Yeah. Okay. What was the first record you ever got or somebody bought for you that you picked out?
There was a band in the 90s called Little Texas, and I remember my dad got me that CD when I first got my first CD player that I could put in my room. Mm-hmm. And I listened to it over and over because it was the only CD I had.
It was a great band.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's one of those 90s country bands that, they put out some solid music, and I feel like they're still super underrated. You know what I mean?
I still listen to them. I've got a playlist that's got them on there. And got Earl Thomas Conley, Keith Whitley, the classics. You can't go wrong with that. And sometimes you just need that in your life. Okay, what was the first concert you ever went to?
First concert I can remember going to was Garth Brooks when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. And I still remember to this day they played Thunder Rolls, and it scared me to death because they actually had thunder coming through the arena.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
That's a good answer. Okay, what is your jam song, sir? That song that doesn't matter if you've heard it 1,000 times, it comes on, that volume's going up, and your foot's probably going down on the accelerator if you're driving.
This is going to be super cheesy, but it's a song called Mac the Knife.
I know that song.
It's by Bobby Darin. Yeah, I don't know why. It's not what anybody would think.
No, that is you, sir, have hit another unique level for answers on the show. Mac the Knife is definitely that's such a Corey Hunt answer. I love it. I love it, man. That is great. That's original. That is classic. All right. What is one person, living or dead, that you would like to take the stage with if you could?
Living or dead? I'll go with living. I think Robert O'King would be like full circle for me,
I could see that. I could see you guys playing together and that would be an incredible show.
And let me sing one of the verses of The Road Goes On Forever and the Party Never Ends. I think I could throw in the towel and never play another concert, and I'd be all right with it.
And I knew that was exactly where you were going to go. Love it. Okay. Do you have a personal or life mantra?
You know what? I think just doing your best to be kind. Be kind. 2 words. Be kind.
Okay. I like it. All right. This is everybody's favorite. Besides yourself, who should people be listening to and checking out right now?
Can be multiple people.
It can be multiple people.
Oh, that's easy. Tyler Hatley, Todd Holman, Justin Clyde, Ziggy Pocket, Piedmont Boys, Chip Perry, Dirty Grass Bowl. I know I'm leaving somebody out, and I'm trying to think.
Leland.
But there's so many good people from around here. There's so many. It's daggone unreal.
Anna Lee Band.
Anna Lee, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
She would kill us both.
Yeah. I know Anna Lee and Justin told me, I think he was explaining to me, I don't know if Sim and Tyler Hatley wrote the song, but Justin and Anna Lee are going to record it. And I think they might come up here to New Hope and record it with me, so I might kind of.
I hope they do, because I was there when they talked about it the other night, and he played it for her because it was on her birthday. And he goes, "We're recording this song. I don't give a damn if you want to or not." And she stood there and had tears rolling down her face. And she goes, "Yeah, we're going to do that song."
That's great. Justin, he texted me, I don't know, like a week ago or something. I was asking about it, and he told me that he wanted to work out time to come up here. And I was like, man, I would be so honored if you guys come up and record with me. That'd be killer.
Oh, because you've got your own studio, don't you?
Yes. Yeah.
See, that's awesome. I didn't even realize that. See, I learned something new today too.
Yeah, I've done some stuff for myself. I've only done a couple things for other people. I did Tyler Hatley's CP. We did at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Todd stuff that he's got out right now. We did over here, and then so like the Tower records. We didn't do the whole thing at my house, but there's bits and pieces here and there, like maybe a vocal on this song, the guitars on this song. It's just kind of scattered throughout the whole record.
I dig it, man. I dig it. All right, this was the one that keeps tripping people up nowadays because this is a new question that I've added in. If you had a spirit animal, what would it be and why?
Spirit animal. Okay. Let me think. Spirit animal. That is a tough question. I feel like you gotta think about it. See, a smart person would already have like the standard answer for this.
No, because I've gotten a different answer from so many people. I can tell you what Todd chose.
What Todd said?
He said a bobcat. He said because they're tough and people are scared of them. He goes, but I'm an introvert and don't like being seen.
That's pretty solid.
He said, so I could just kind of sit up in a tree and watch everybody and they wouldn't know I was there and I'd be just happy.
Oh, man. All right, I'm going to come up with something in like 5 seconds.
And it doesn't have to be.
I got you.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't like this. Bigfoot, because it's pretty cool, but I'm fairly certain nobody really knows that exists.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You were the first person to go Bigfoot. Hell yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Man, that is, I love it. That's good stuff right there. And, I'm surprised nobody else hasn't thought about that one. I have gotten a unicorn. I can't remember who said they wanted to be a unicorn. But
that sounds like Justin Clyde. That sounds like something he'd say.
I didn't have the question when he was on.
Oh, man.
I think, oh, man, I've had eagles and a few other different ones, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I could get that. Or just, hey, just a dog. But we'll tell everybody where they can find your music, where they can follow you on the socials and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so you can look up on on Facebook, Corey Hunt Band, or you can my handle on Instagram and Snapchat and all those things is at Corey Hunt Music. All of our music is available on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, everywhere you get music digitally, and you can also go to CoreyHuntBand.com.
Awesome. Folks, get out there, support local music. Go find this guy and listen to him. Seriously. I don't care what you have to pay to get in to see this man play. Go see him play. And if you hate it, send me an email, and because you need to convince me why. Because I'm fairly convinced you probably belong in a mental hospital. You got any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
Man, I think through here I kind of hit everybody I could think of, but man, shout out to everybody that listened to a song or bought a CD or came to a show. Because there's no way I'd be able to still do this and put out music if you guys weren't doing that.
Love it. All right, folks, as always, keep on listening, tune in, check out some new folks, expand your horizons. Don't be afraid of new music. Get out there and experience. I will catch you guys next week.
Holiday tips and fun facts from Paul, Kristen, and Dexter at Total Wine & More.
There's something celebratory about Bubbles. Our ridiculous selection of champagne and sparkling wines will make the holidays pop.
Who couldn't use a friendly wine elf? I can help you find the perfect bottle at just the right price.
Deep frying a turkey this year? A rich and earthy Chateau Neuf de Pop would make an interesting pairing.
Whether you're entertaining or just bringing the wine, we'd love to share our always low prices and ridiculous selection with you this holiday. Now offering same-day delivery at TotalWine.com. Cheers!
It's your last chance to get gifts before the holiday, and right now at Old Navy, everything's up to 75% off with gifts from just $1, $2, $3, and $4. Buy online, pick up in store for free in 2 hours with extended store hours too. Get up to 75% off everything at Old Navy and OldNavy.com now. Valid 12/18 to 12/24 excludes gift cards, today only, 2-day only deals, register lane items, jewelry, and Zip Zap Stuff gifting bins. Orders must be placed before 4 p.m. for same-day pickup, subject to availability and delays. Additional terms apply.